What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ring King 508. We're back at it again. Um, so my Steelers have wrapped up the season going 9-8, still having a winning season since 2003. Um, that is historic. Um, a team that has never had a losing season since 2003. Um, this year looked like it was on the verge of coming to an end. Um, then somewhere after the bye against Philadelphia, they found a way to, rack off 7-2 record to even be alive in the playoffs. I didn't expect them to be alive in the playoffs at all. I didn't expect them to have a winning season after the way they got decimated by Philadelphia. But then again, I'm not surprised because it is Mike Tomlin, and Mike Tomlin, for whatever reason, will never have a losing season. He will find a way to carry this team to the playoffs somehow, some way. Um, But we beat the Cleveland Browns today, 28-14. Deshaun Watson, first time in the Cleveland Browns uniform against the Steelers, and it was a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. The man was sacked 7 times for 57 yards. He had a QBR of 40.3, and he threw 2 picks, which was very, very bad. I mean, dude, he didn't look like he could read coverage. That's how bad he looked. Nick Chubb was irrelevant. Running the ball, he was 12 carries for 77 yards. It was not a good day for him. Kareem Hunt got injured, never came back after, what was it, the second or third quarter, I believe. So he never came back. Amari Cooper was held down to 2 catches, wasn't really doing anything. David Njoku had 4 catches for 1 touchdown, and Nick Chubb had 5 catches for 1 touchdown. But other than that, the team was just basically done after the after the first half they were just done. I mean, the Steelers came back and they just put 20 unanswered points on them coming out of the half. They put 10 points on them. Well, I should say, going into the half, they put 10 points on them. Coming out of the half, they put 10 points on them. And then they would have a drive to put the nail in the coffin for Cleveland, which I thought was pretty good. Kenny Pickett was phenomenal. 13-29, 195 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 sack. They only got to him 1 time. I mean, that's not bad. Najee Harris, 23 carries for 84 yards, 1 touchdown. Jalen Warren was phenomenal. Steven Sims was phenomenal. They definitely had a better upside. George Pickens, 72 yards, 3 receiving, 1 touchdown. Connor Hayward was nice. Um, but, and also the defense was nice. The defense was really nice. But other than this game, the season in totality was definitely kind of strange because going 2-6 and digging yourself out of that hole was the most wildest thing I have seen in my life. Like, that was just insane how they could just dig themselves out of a hole that big. Because once they beat Cincinnati in the opener, they didn't really do anything. They got beat by New England, they got beat by Miami, they got beat by Buffalo, they got beat by the Jets, they got beat by Cleveland 1 time, and you beat Tom Brady, which was okay. That's a big win in and of itself. You beat Brady, but then you lose against, um, you know, I forget who did they lose to. They lost to someone else. I can't remember who it was. Hold on. Yeah, they lost to so they lost to New England, Cleveland, New York, Buffalo, Miami, Philly. The 2 wins came against Burrow and Brady. Then they went into the bye. Coming out of the bye, they beat New Orleans. They lose to Cincinnati by 7. Then they go and beat Indianapolis. They beat Atlanta. They lose to Baltimore after Kenny Pickett got knocked out, which was a very winnable game. Because had they win that game, they probably wouldn't have need the scenario today with Miami and New England. They probably wouldn't have needed it. So, yeah, this game kind of, was a loss. And then you look, they beat Carolina, they beat Vegas, they beat Baltimore, and then they beat Cleveland today. This team, moving forward, well, first of all, going 7-2 to finish out the season is pretty nice. Not a lot of teams can do that. But when you're coached by Mike Tomlin, it really doesn't surprise me because that's what he does. He'll motivate you in a way that you didn't even think you could be motivated. Like, bro, he brought this team back from the brink of death. And it's a young squad, too. It's a young squad on offense that, has a lot of potential. They just need to shore up, the left tackle position and probably the left guard position. But other than that, they're good. They're solid. I didn't like the fact that Pickett was throwing to Deontay Johnson on some of those catches where it was like, dude, you gotta be able to throw to George Pickens. He's coming down with these catches like it's nothing. Even the touchdown catch he had, which he was wide open. I don't know what Cleveland's defense was doing on that play. It was like, dude, what are you doing? But they played good. They played good enough. Next year, I expect this team to be a little bit different on offense. I don't think they'll keep Matt Canada. I don't think they'll keep him around. But I do think that they'll bring a guy with NFL experience, with a way that can make an offense look respectable, and just because right now you look at this offense, it's not bad as people think. It's actually pretty nice. They have a good roster. They have a good enough roster to compete with teams. Do I think they have a better roster than Buffalo and Kansas City? Probably not, but I think they're right there with Cincinnati. I think they're better than Baltimore's because Baltimore just could not. If your one weakness is your quarterback, then that's a problem. That's a huge problem because Tyler Huntley did not play in this game today, and and they lost badly to Cincinnati. And they're going to lose to Cincinnati tomorrow. But, no, not tomorrow. Next week. They're going to lose to Cincinnati next week. So, I look at Pittsburgh, and they're right there. They're right there with Cincinnati, offensive talent-wise. Defensive talent, they still have a feistier, elite defense, but they just need to plug in some holes. So, like, on the corner position, I definitely would try to fix that part out because I don't think J. Pierre or Keller Witherspoon was a really good fit for them. But they tried. Maker's still gonna be playing at all-pro level. I don't know if they're gonna re-sign Edmonds. Edmonds had a good year so far. But yeah, it's just I don't know what they're gonna do. But they gotta fix some of these holes if they want to win the division and show they still got a chance in the AFC. I think they do got a chance in the AFC. I think they're building some good talent. I will be very, very surprised next season what they do. And hopefully they don't start out 2-6. Like, bro, come on, that was ridiculous. But they got better going 7-2 to finish out the season, which I was very proud of. That's the way that you want to finish. You want to finish strong, and hopefully this will carry over to next year, vice versa. Now, Um, like I said, Matt Canada, I don't think his job is safe because it's just, I think earlier in the year when they weren't winning, a lot of the stuff was on Canada. And I think so. First of all, ain't no way in hell your offense should not be scoring at least 30 in some of these games. You have to be able to score 30 in one of these games. You can't score 30 one time. Like, other than, well, and this is what I mean. They scored 30 one time against Cincinnati, and that was it. But other than that, all these games, you have to be able to push the ball into the end zone. You got to be able to push it downfield. And that's what they weren't doing on some of these games that were just winnable. Like Cleveland, they were up at halftime. New England, they were keeping New England out of the end zone on multiple attempts, and they just would not push it downfield. Matt Canada is not a very, very good coordinator, and I think that moving on for him will be a best thing. I do want to see them bring in Frank Reich. I think Frank Reich and the Steeler, I think he's definitely a better coordinator than people give him credit. Now, people gotta be like, well, wait a second, hold on. Did you not see him in Indy? That's not his fault. That is not his fault. Indy is a terrible organization that just cannot accept the fact that they can't. No one wants to go there. No one wants to go to Indianapolis. No one. Because Jim Irsay has run that organization into the ground. After Peyton left, they had Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck could only get them as far as the AFC Championship. After Andrew Luck retired, because you didn't give him offensive line until later when he was like all banged up and ruined, he left. So then you had to go get multiple quarterbacks. So then you went to go get Jacoby Brissett, Brian Hoyer, Carson Wentz, Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan. It's like, and Nick Foles, I'm sorry. And then you don't like evolve. And then you got Frank Reich fired. And then you put Jeff Saturday in. I'm not calling Jeff Saturday a bum. By no means of the imagination am I calling him a bum. But why don't you just give a guy that was on his staff a chance to be a head coach? There's plenty of people that are qualified. But I would love to see Frank Reich as my offensive coordinator because when he was with Philly, in the year that they won the Super Bowl, Philly's offense was phenomenal. By no stretch of the imagination, they were phenomenal. They were perfect. They were on the elite level. Now, I believe by bringing Frank Reich in, and you have a quarterback in Kenny Pickett who you can actually, have, you can get him going faster because I see a lot of talent in this offense. And I think they're just an offensive coordinator away. I think they're a left tackle away. And I think they're a corner away from actually being an elite team. I really believe that. I'm not saying that they're not elite already, but they need to fix some holes that they can clearly see will carry them into the next season and probably into the postseason next season. So it's definitely a long journey, but I believe that the Steelers can definitely get the job done. I have faith in this team that I didn't have early on in the season because they showed me that they can fight. And if you can fight like you fought in the second half of the season, then you got a shot to show what you can be in the postseason. Like I said, if you do want to see more videos like this, guys, please make sure to go hit that like button. Make sure to go subscribe to the channel for more. And I will see y'all in the next video. It's been your boy, Red Kid Bobo, and I am out. Peace.